Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajajanarandana Yasodhanandana Brajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajajanarandana Yasodhanandana Brajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Gaura Pimanandi, Jaim Vishupad Paramahamsa, Padivraj Gacharya Stotra Satya, Sri Simad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhai Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Sri Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Skandiditi, Founder Charya Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Samavata Bhakti Vrinda ki, Hari Nam Sankirtan ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All that is to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All that is to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksuramiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamsya Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paritana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sivisakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the Supremost Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayeshabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Uttama Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nesreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swastayanam Maha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God, which is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangom langayate girim. Yat kripat maham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripat maham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. We continue from Canto number 2, chapter 1, text number 11, huh? Yeah. Okay. Wow. I thought yesterday we had a long purport. Today is like double. It will require special concentration on the purport. Yeah. So text 11. Etam nirvidyamananam itsatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanu kirtanam. Famous verse. Etan nirvidyamananam itchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. Etan nirvidyamananam itchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. Etan nirvidyamananam itchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. Etan nirvidyamananam itchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. Etan nirvidyamananam itchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. Etap. It is nirvidyamananam, of those who are completely free from all material desires. Itchatam, all those who are desirous of all sorts of material enjoyment. Akuto bhayam, free from all doubts and fear. Yoginam, of all who are self-satisfied. Nripa, O King, Nirnitam, decided truth. Harehe, of the Lord, Sri Krishna, Nama, holy name, Anu, after someone, always, Kirtanam, chanting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Kindly repeat after me. O King, constant chanting, of the holy name of the Lord, after the ways, of the great authorities, is the doubtless, and fearless way, of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Purport. In the previous verse, the great necessity of attaining attachment to Mukunda has been accredited. There are different types of persons who desire to attain success in different varieties of pursuits. Generally, the persons are materialists who desire to enjoy the fullest extent of material gratification. Next to them are the transcendentalists who have attained perfect knowledge about the nature of material enjoyment and thus are aloof from such an illusory way of life. More or less, they are satisfied in themselves by self-realization. Above them are the devotees of the Lord, who neither aspire to enjoy the material world nor desire to get out of it. Whoops. Yeah, I'm just reading the purport here. Above them are the devotees of the Lord who neither aspire to enjoy the material world nor desire to get out of it. They are after the satisfaction of the Lord, Sri Krishna. In other words, the devotees of the Lord do not want anything on their present account. If the Lord desires, the devotees can accept all sorts of material facilities. And if the Lord does not desire this, the devotees can leave aside all sorts of facilities, even up to the limit of salvation. Nor are they self-satisfied. Atmaram means self-satisfied. Devotees are not self-satisfied. Why? Because they want the satisfaction of the Lord only. In this verse, Sri Shukadeva Goswami recommends the transcendental chanting of the holy name of the Lord by offenseless chanting and hearing of the holy name of the Lord. One becomes acquainted with the transcendental form of the Lord, and then with the attributes of the Lord. Nama, Guna. and then with the transcendental nature of his pastimes, lila, etc. Here it is mentioned that one should constantly chant the holy name of the Lord after hearing it from authorities. This means that hearing from the authorities is the first essential. Hearing of the holy name gradually promotes one to the stage of hearing about his form and his attributes, his pastimes, and so on. And thus, the necessity of the chanting of his glories develops successfully. This process is recommended not only for the successful execution of devotional service, but also even for those who are materially attached. According to Sri Shukadeva Goswami, this way of attaining success is an established fact, concluded not only by him, but also by all other previous acharyas. And therefore, there is no need of further evidence. The process is recommended not only for the progressive students in different departments of ideological success, but also for those who are already successful in their achievement as Shruta workers, as philosophers, and as devotees of the Lord. So, important point being explained here is that the process of chanting the holy name is what we call a cure for all. It is the remedy, regardless of where a person may be situated, whether he's a devotee or not a devotee, whether he is a Jnani or yogi, etc. Yeah. Srila Jiva Goswami, it's a 3-page purport here. Srila Jiva Goswami instructs that chanting of the holy name of the Lord should be loudly done. Similar to Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. That was the main complaint in Navadvip. We are here in Navadvip. This was the main complaint 500 years ago by the local brahmanas. They complained to the Chankazi that this Nimai has invented some new system of going out loudly chanting early in the morning when the Lord is still sleeping, disturbing the Lord. There's different types of chanting. Loud chanting, soft chanting, and mental chanting. We should not try mental chanting unless, for most devotees, the loud chanting. Of course, loud chanting is also including Sankirtan, congregational chanting, usually is loud chanting. Individual personal chanting can be loud or can be not so loud. Srila Haridas Thakur would be practicing all different forms of chanting. So, Srila Jiva Goswami instructs that chanting of the holy name of the Lord should be loudly done, and it should be performed offenselessly as well, as recommended in the Padma Purana. One can deliver himself from the effects of all sins by surrendering himself unto the Lord. One can deliver himself from all offenses at the feet of the Lord by taking shelter of His holy name. But one cannot protect himself if one commits an offense at the feet of the holy name of the Lord. Such offenses are mentioned in the Padma Purana as being 10 in number. That's why it's a long purport. The first offense is to vilify. Vilify means to condemn, to speak badly against, to blaspheme. Yeah. The great devotees who have preached about the glories of the Lord. The second offense is to see the holy names of the Lord in terms of worldly distinction. The Lord is the proprietor of all the universes, and therefore He may be known in different places by different names. But that does not in any way qualify the fullness of the Lord. Any nomenclature which is meant for the Supreme Lord is as holy as the others because they are all meant for the Lord. Such holy names are as powerful as the Lord, and there is no bar for anyone in any part of the creation to chant and glorify the Lord by the particular name of the Lord as it is locally understood. Anyone here from Orissa? In Orissa they have Hare Krishna, isn't it? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And in Russia they have something else, or maybe in China. All these names, they are all auspicious, and one should not distinguish such names of the Lord as material commodities. This is the second offense. The third offense is to neglect the orders of the authorized acharyas, or spiritual masters. The fourth offense is to vilify scriptures or Vedic knowledge. The fifth offense is to define the holy name of the Lord in terms of one's mundane calculation. The holy name of the Lord is identical with the Lord Himself, and one should understand the holy name of the Lord to be non-different from the Lord, from Him. Yeah. The sixth offense is to interpret the holy name. The Lord is not imaginary, nor is His holy name. There are persons with a poor fund of knowledge who think the Lord to be an imagination of the worshipper, and therefore think His holy name to be imaginary. Such a chanter of the name of the Lord cannot achieve the desired success in the matter of chanting the holy name. The seventh offense is to commit sins intentionally on the strength of the holy name. In the scriptures it is said that one can be liberated from the effects of all sinful actions simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who takes advantage of this transcendental method and continues to commit sins on the expectation of neutralizing the effects of sins by chanting the holy name of the Lord is the greatest offender at the feet of the holy name. Such an offender cannot purify himself by any recommended method of purification. In other words, one may be a sinful man before chanting the holy name of the Lord, but after taking shelter of the holy name of the Lord and becoming immune, one should strictly restrain oneself from committing sinful acts with a hope that his method of chanting the holy name will give him protection. The eighth offense is to consider the holy name of the Lord and his chanting method to be equal to some material auspicious activity. There are various kinds of good works for material benefits, but the holy name and his chanting are not mere auspicious holy services. Undoubtedly, the holy name is holy service, but he should never be utilized for such purpose. Since the holy name and the Lord are of one and the same identity, one should not try to bring the holy name into the service of mankind. The idea is that the Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer. He is no one's servant or order supplier. Similarly, since the holy name of the Lord is identical with the Lord, one should not try to utilize the holy name for one's personal service. The ninth offense is to instruct those who are not interested in chanting the holy name of the Lord about the transcendental nature of the holy name. If such instruction is imparted to an unwilling audience, the act is considered to be an offense at the feet of the holy name. So this needs to be understood properly. The ninth offense is not that we cannot ask people to chant the holy name, but what is explained here, that such persons who are not interested in chanting the holy name, they should not be told about the internal meaning of the holy name. Because even if someone does not know or understand the internal meaning of the holy name, by chanting the holy name, still he gets benefit. But it is, so we can request anyone and everyone to chant the holy name, but we should avoid explaining the holy name because the holy name is the Lord Himself, and to understand the Lord and His nature, His form, His qualities, His pastimes, etc., is meant for those who have who accept and who will not be offensive. Yeah, means it is for devotees. And the 10th offense is to become uninterested in the holy name of the Lord, even after hearing of the transcendental nature of the holy name. The effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord is perceived by the chanter as liberation from the conception of false egoism. Yes. False egoism is exhibited by thinking oneself to be the enjoyer of the world and thinking everything in the world to be meant for the enjoyment of one's self only. Now, the whole materialistic world is moving under such false egoism of I and mine. But the factual effect of chanting the holy name is to become free from such misconceptions. So we'll read the verse once more. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Yes. So any comments on this? It's interesting how in reciting or explaining the 10 offenses, the second offense here is somewhat different. The second offense is to see the holy names of the Lord in terms of worldly distinction. Yes.
Sometimes I request the newcomers to chant the holy names.
Yes.
And tell them that there is the energy of Lord in this mantra, a lot of power is there.
Yes.
Is it okay, Maharaj? Because I'm not telling that the Lord Himself they cannot understand.
Right. Okay.
There is a lot of power, you can chant like that, I'm saying.
Yes. So, question is it okay to tell people that there is a lot of power or Shakti in the holy name?
Shakti, when they say they are a little bit impressed, Bhagavan is Shakti.
Everyone is looking for Shakti. Everyone wants to be powerful. Everyone is looking for something, yeah. No, that's fine. What we should avoid is discussing more confidential, personal,
Just
intimate. Yeah.
2 or 3 words.
Yeah. Yes. We used in the early days. We used to tell people that please chant this mantra. There is no loss in chanting, but there is all gain. So it's a little bit, it's like trying to allure or attract people. There's some benefit there. You won't lose anything, but you will gain. What you will gain, that you have to chant. Then you'll know. Yeah. We may not, or should not, especially those who are newcomers or those who are non-believers. We should not elaborately explain. Yeah. But we can mention that there is immense benefit. There is a lot of power, as you mentioned, like that. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru.
Well-
Quite long purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
Yeah, one of those so many important points that captured my mind is Srila Prabhupada's statement saying that devotees, they don't want to enjoy the material world and they don't have a desire to get out of the material world.
How to
So-
understand that?
Yeah, first of all, how to understand that, and of course, Srila Prabhupada elaborated that the only desire of devotees is to please the Lord. It doesn't matter where he is, whether he's in the material world or spiritual world. But
Yeah.
my question here is that wrong when we desire to go back home, back to Godhead?
So,
Because sometimes
right.
some devotees explaining that it is not our concern to go back home, back to Godhead. Our main concern is just service.
To serve Krishna.
Yeah, but when we have this desire to go back home, back to Godhead, is that also considered as material desire, or how do you understand that properly?
Okay. So, question is, here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that a devotee has no desire to go out of the material world. And what's the other
We
side?
don't have desire to enjoy the material.
No desire to enjoy the material world and no desire to go out of the material world. So is it wrong on the part of the devotee to desire to go back home, back to Godhead? Because Prabhupada so often mentions that the goal is to go back home, back to Godhead. When we begin to understand that actually activities of bhakti, activities of devotional service means being situated in our natural, eternal, constitutional position. So pure devotional service means actually going back home, back to Godhead, in that sense, isn't it? Although Prabhupada explains, and yeah, it's mentioned here in the purport as well, that that a devotee rather, doesn't even have a desire to go out of the material world. We should understand this as this is like a very elevated platform, elevated consciousness that I don't mind, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also prays, to remain in the material world as long as I'm engaged in your devotional service. But I do remember Prabhupada mentioning that for the common devotees, we should desire to get out of the material world. We should desire to to return to the spiritual world, which is our eternal, natural abode, where everyone there is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So the highest level of realization is not simply to put an end to our suffering, but the highest level of realization is to engage in serving the Lord, engage in pleasing the Lord, even if I may undergo some inconveniences. You know, Srila Prabhupada voluntarily, and so many devotees we see in the Bhagavatam, voluntarily accept various inconveniences for the higher purpose of serving the Lord, serving the mission of the Lord, isn't it? So both are correct. We should desire to go back to the spiritual world. At the same time, we should also develop that very high level of understanding that when we are engaged in the devotional activities of the Lord, you know, Prabhupada explains that our temples, because the Lord is present and devotees are engaged in devotional service, they are not in the material world, right? Our temples are like oases, where one who comes to a temple, engages in devotional activities, then he is out of the material sphere, out of the material influence of Maya, basically, isn't it? So we cannot imitate the very lofty, high level which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and other great Vaishnavas express, that let me again take birth again and again in the material world, if that is your desire, and if my only request is that I can be having the association of the devotees, yeah. So our desire to go back home, back to Godhead, should be to serve the Lord, and so that is a bona fide desire as well. So both are acceptable, but the more let's say the higher understanding is that, my dear Lord, please engage me as you so desire, where you so desire, in whatever service you so desire, which is different from our neophyte mentality that I'd like to do this service, I'd like to be in this temple, like that, right? We have, but it's good that we want to do service, as opposed to, yeah. So in the early or beginning stages, there are, because there are still different levels of ego, egotism. Prabhupada mentions at the end here of the purport, and egotism means we still have some impurities are there, and still having some of our personal desires. So the definition as we hear from the beginning of the Bhagavatam, first canto, is ahaitukiya pratihata yagatma suprasidati. In order for the living entity to fully, completely become satisfied at all levels, is to no longer having any tinge of material desire, and to be also constantly, fully, 24 hours a day, engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. Voila. Yeah. No question today. Okay.
And in devotee also there are degrees, as you mentioned, as a few platform is to going to back to God. And devotees also we see that they have a mixture, that some are the level of karma, some are the level of jnana, some are the purity, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Prabhupada mentioned is that this is the highest stage.
Yes. So, Nectar Devotion explains different levels of devotees also, beginning from
81 types of
Huh?
81 types of devotion, some mixture of the gunas.
Yeah. Okay. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Gaur Pimanandi.
Bhakti Raghavan Maharaj ki.
So Vishnu Rata Prabhu